everybody. Welcome to Spirit and Truth Yoga. Today we are going to talk about our anchor and finding our anchor in God so we can find stillness and stability in these very unstable times. And Spirit and Truth Yoga brings faith and scripture and prayer into your traditional yoga practice so you can have more of an experiential time with God. And I hope that that really helps you during this time. So let's get started. Find your mats and we'll get going. So find a seat on your mat, a nice comfortable position, easy pose here. Just start to slow your breath, trying to help your body find some consciousness and stillness in this moment. So as we get started here, come on into a seated pose, easy pose. Just let your eyes softly close. So as we come into stillness, find a seated pose. Here in easy pose, we can start to bring our attention to this moment on the mat. Being fully present here. Letting go of any thoughts about what lie ahead or what lie before this moment. An easy breath, allowing the crown of your head, your abdomen, your spine to all be in one long line as you just breathe gently. Stilling the mind. Hebrews 6:19 says that we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. We're going to fix our minds on that concept today of finding a firm and secure place for ourselves. Take a moment to set your own intention for this time on your mat, something that you hope to come to, something you hope maybe to take from this time. Bringing your hands to heart center, take a moment to bring that intention to God, asking Him for His assistance in that intention. God, thank you for being our anchor. Thank you that we can find security and stillness, being deeply rooted in you, so that we can be strong towers in these very shaky and uncertain times. Help us to drive ourselves deep down into you, into your word, so that we can be secure. Not feeling like we're blown around by the news of the day, the fears of the day, the worries of the day, but to find stillness and security and stability in you. Lowering your hands to the mat. Just find a comfortable position. Allow your shoulders to drop down behind you. We're going to start with some gentle shoulder rolls. Slowly raising and rolling your shoulders up and back. You can have your eyes open or closed. Just slowly bringing in some movement. Breathing in and out of the nose. if you're able to, cutting off mouth breathing for this practice. Reversing the direction, bringing your arms up and forward. Clench the fist, release the hands, shake them out. Shake the arms out, bringing them back to stillness. Maybe you rest your hands in your lap, your knees, or on the mat, whatever's most comfortable for you. We're going to do some neck rolls. Lower your chin gently and softly to your chest. Slowly bringing left ear to left shoulder. Stopping at your shoulder, slowly returning your chin to chest. Allowing your shoulders to drop down behind you. Slowly right ear to right shoulder. Breathing. Exhale, returning chin to chest. Continuing all the way around, allowing your head to drop back. Opening, stretching your neck. Deepening that breath, tying it to this motion. Inhaling, exhaling. Once your chin reaches your chest again, reversing the direction. Again, reminding those shoulders to drop slowly down. Allowing hips to relax. Breathing air to the spaces that hold any tension. Wherever you are, slowly return chin to chest. And slowly raise your head back to a neutral position. Come into tabletop pose as we warm up our backs in a little bit of a cat-cow. Finding our anchor here before we do any movement in table, a nice flat back. You want the crown of your head all the way to your tailbone to be almost one long line. Anchoring your body with your hands evenly pressing into the mat. Front of the palms, back of the palms evenly pressing, tops of the foot pressing into the mat. We begin with a cat pose. With a deep inhale, we roll our spines up, tucking chin to chest, almost like we're glaring at our belly buttons, tucking tailbone, breathing space here into this full cat posture. On your next inhale, dropping belly down to cow pose, allowing shoulders to move away from your ears. As your core sinks down to your mat, raising your tailbone. Again, reminding yourself to evenly press all edges of your hands and feet into the mat, finding that anchor here. And with your own breath, we're going to do a few cycles. Inhaling up into cat. Exhaling to cow. Inhaling to cat. Exhaling to cow. And as you come to the end of your breath, see if you can push the posture just an inch further. Inhaling to cat. Move with your own breath. Listening to the sound of the breath moving in and out of your body, allowing that to anchor your mind, to draw attention to that rather than the things around you. Wherever you are, let's meet in tabletop pose. We're going to do a posture called thread the needle. With your right arm, reach up to the heavens. Looking up to your hands. Again, finding that anchor in your left hand and your feet before we move any further. And I want you to reach down and through the hole, lowering right temple to mat. Evenly distributing the weight in your legs. You can leave your left hand on the mat. If it's available to you, you want to raise your left arm to the sky. Again, sinking your temple as an anchor. Your head is anchoring your body here. Or you can lower your arm down if that's not too uncomfortable for your shoulder. Whichever posture you prefer and is available for your body today. Breathing here as your head connects to the earth, allowing it to sink deeper with every breath. Your arm reaching up to the sky. And just breathing. On your next exhale, lower your hand back down to the mat. Slowly with control, pressing your left hand into the mat, raising up, unthreading that needle. Right arm up, gazing up at that right arm, opening up your heart, your chest. And on an exhale, lowering down. Again, finding the anchor on all four limbs, sinking them into the mat, finding stability. On your next inhale, raising your left hand up, gazing up as your heart opens. And an exhale, threading the needle, lowering it down, sweeping through temple, left temple to mat. Staying here, or raising your right arm up, opening your shoulder, opening your chest. You might want to lower your right arm behind your back if you did it on the other side. Allowing your temple to catch all of that weight as it rests. Your body rests easy in that position. Slowly with control, lowering your right arm back down. Pressing your right hand into the mat. Lifting left arm back up. Gazing up, opening your chest. Lowering your left arm down. Pressing back into child's pose. And just breathing. You might want to move your hands a little closer together, whatever allows your body to find the most rest here in this restorative pose. A full surrender and letting go. Anchoring yourself to the ground. Pressing again in all fours. Find our way back up to table. Flipping your toes. Coming into your first plank pose. Lowering down. Flipping your toes. Coming into baby cobra or sphinx pose. Whatever makes your back the most happy today. Normally I like sphinx pose, but today my back is asking for baby cobra. Breathing here. Elongating your spine as your toes pull away from your head in one long line. Pressing your fingers into the mat, your forearms to the mat. Lowering down, flipping your toes, hands under shoulders, press up into downward dog. Maybe you want to pedal your feet out, spreading your hands wide. Slightly rotating your thumbs towards your knees if you feel like your arms are turning out. Finding stillness. Maybe you want to sway your hips side to side slightly to find your center. When we can find our center, we can anchor even into a more firm and secure place. Breathing here. Looking between your hands, step your right foot up in between your hands. Flip your toes, lower your knee. If you want to place a blanket or a towel under your knees for more cushion, that's fine. You can stay here. Either way, really making your feet secure so that your weight is barely resting on your fingertips. You can stay here for your lunge or come up, hands to heart center. You are firm and secure in this position. Breathing here. Allowing that right foot to really anchor you. Hands along either side of your right foot, stepping back into plank, lowering down. Sphinx pose or cobra. Breathing here. Flipping toes back, pushing up into downward dog. Allowing your heart to connect as it pulls towards the earth, connecting ourself to the ground below us, our spirit to the ground in which we stand, firm and secure. Looking between your hands, step your left foot up, dropping knee. Anchor yourself here before you move, finding that stability before you either look forward or rising up, hands at heart center. Anchoring your soul, finding stillness, reconnecting to your breath. Lowering your hands to the mat, flipping your toes, downward dog. Breathing, coming to stillness. Walk your feet up to meet your hands at the top of your mat. And just find a releasing forward fold. Spreading your toes wide. Hands on shins, we come up to a flat back. Really allowing the crown of your head to pull away from your tailbone, finding as long of a spine as you can in this space, pulling shoulders away from ears. The crown of your head to your tailbone should be one long line, looking down towards the floor. Just breathing here and release, forward fold. On your next inhale, raising your arms up. Fixing your gaze, using your mind's eye to look, connecting with God, Drawing that energy from God to yourself as you bring your hands to heart center. And sending that energy to anchor you to the ground on which you stand, firm and secure, one long line, heaven through you to the earth. As you feel your feet press against the floor, finding that anchor and stability. Inhaling again, sweeping arms up, forward fold. On the inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Radiating your arms up. Exhale, inhale, hands to heart center. We're going to come to the side of our mat and step your feet about shoulder, a little more than shoulder width apart, and whatever's most comfortable for you, but maybe a little bit of a stretch here. Your feet are parallel to the mat facing forward. What we're going to do first is come to a nice flat back, so I want you to put your hands on your hips, and with a nice flat back, folding your body forward and coming to rest here. Lowering again, shoulder from spine, head finding a neutral position, allowing head to tailbone to be one long line. If you want to add into this position a chest opener, you can link your fingers together behind your back, sweeping your shoulders open, lifting your hands above your head. And breathe. Feeling that glorious chest opening as your heart opens. Filling your chest with breath and light. Feeling how your body can anchor in these two tiny points. Nothing else is touching the body, touching the floor. So much of the body is hanging in air, and yet you are anchored, firm and secure. Slowly releasing those hands back to hips and allowing the hands to drip to the floor. Find a forward fold, a wide leg forward fold here. You can have your hands just rest on the floor if that's available to you. If you want to grab opposite elbows and allow that weight to pull you just a little bit further. And breathing here as you feel gravity pull the weight of your head toward the floor, stretching that spine. Feeling the burn in the back of the legs. If you can, straighten those legs just a little bit, sending breath there to release the tension, breathing deep, connecting with the breath here. Allow your hands to find your hips once more, stretching head away from tailbone, rising up slowly with a flat back. All the way up. Breathing. Shoulders away from spine. We're going to come into triangle pose. I want you to point your right toes to the front of your mat. Look down at your heels and make sure that they're in a nice straight line with one another. And your hips should be facing the front of your mat. Raising your arms up with an inhale, what we're going to do is we're going to reach towards the front of your mat, but your hips should go in the opposite direction, almost like you're bending. There should be a bend here in the hip that you feel. So as we breathe in, we're going to reach towards the front of our mats, feeling that hip pull back in the opposite direction. Reaching here and just breathe. Both legs straight. Bringing that right shoulder back. You want your arms to be. You can even look back at the left hand. You want your arms to be in a nice straight line. Gaze out over the right arm. Weight in the back side, on the right side of the left the right side of the right foot. It's disorienting. Really allowing that weight to go to the outer edges of your feet. On your next inhale, I want you to drop your right hand to your right shin. And just allowing that hand to rest. If you want to rest it on the floor or the mat, you can as well. Left hand up to the sky, one nice straight line, arm to arm. And if it's available to you, looking up to your left hand, fixing your gaze. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. It's amazing what we focus on dictates so much of what we feel internally. If we focus on the news or the changes day to day, the stresses, the anxiety, we can be blown around, as Ephesians talked about. But if we fix our eyes on what's eternal, on something bigger than us, on God, on truth, we can find that firm and secure anchor. On an inhale, as your left hand almost pulls you up back to that reaching position, we're going to come out the way we came in, looking again over your right hand and gliding back up. Nicely done. Beautiful. Rotating your foot to meet the front again. We're going to do the opposite side. So both feet are parallel in this moment. Left foot now rotates out, pointing towards the back of your mat. Heels should be in that line again. Inhaling, arms up. Breathing here. On exhale, we reach towards those left toes, feeling that right hip pulling almost in the opposite direction. There should be a bend here in your hip. Pressing down on the outside edges of your left foot. Pressing on the inside edge, making sure that the weight is evenly distributed in that back foot. Looking over your left fingers, raising your chest. Seeing if with every inhale and exhale you could reach just a little bit further. We lower the left hand down, open on the calf, right hand up, opening that shoulder as we gaze up, using our mind's eye to look through the ceiling up to the heavens, fixing our minds on what's above, allowing that to anchor us as we anchor our feet. We anchor ourselves in God, realizing that He is the firm rock on which we stand. We fix our gaze above us to heaven. He almost encapsulates us on both sides, above and below, giving you security, stability. With an inhale, raising up, finding that reaching position again, and drawing back straight to a neutral position, straightening your feet, wiggling those arms out. Nice work. Beautiful job. We're going to come into a dancer pose, a new balancing pose for us that we haven't done before. So again, come to the tops of your mat if you'd like. For your sake, I'm going to see. Yeah, I'll come to the top of my mat as well. Drawing all your weight into your right foot, bending your left knee. Raise your right hand up above your head, really reaching to the sky, allowing that connection from fingertip to toe, one long line of energy. And breathing here. With your left hand, bend your knee and see if you can bring your foot into the cup of your hand. Again, finding your anchor in that foot on the mat. Maybe you stay here. If it's available to you, maybe you reach forward a little bit and reach back with your foot. The energies here, the forces pull in opposite directions. As you push into your hand with your foot, you reach in the opposite direction. And these are counterbalancing energies. And if you do this in opposite directions, you'll actually find more stability, more strength, strengthening that leg on the ground. You also can find a wall to find some balance here. Find a focal point, a spot just to fix your gaze on, setting your mind on that, and just breathe and see if you can find stability in this beautiful pose. Inhaling, slowly with control, lowering your knee back, releasing your foot, releasing your hand, shaking it out. We bring our weight into our left foot, right hand above head, really reaching toward the heavens. If it's available to you, bringing your right foot into your right hand. Spreading your toes wide, spreading out that balancing energy in your left foot. Staying here if it's available to you, bringing your knee back, bringing your hand forward. Again, the more you kick back into your hand, the more energy will stabilize you. Sorry, I'm bumping up into the window. So again, if you lower your hand and raise your foot, breathing here, finding that drishti, that focal point, focusing your mind not on the wiggling or the strain, but just that spot, and seeing if you can come to a firm and secure place. Raising up, lowering that foot, lowering that hand, shaking it out. Beautiful. We're going to come now into child's pose, taking a break from all of that energy and work. Breathing here and letting go. Make a subtle adjustment if you can to allow your body to rest even more. Maybe stretching the fingers a little bit away from the head or the elbows a little bit together. Opening the knees. Allowing your heart to anchor into the rock in which we stand. Breathing air into any of those tense places. Staying in child's pose, bring your hands behind your back, grabbing opposite elbow, allowing your hands to rest on your back. If your knees were apart, now bring knees together, ankles together. Raising your tailbone, roll onto the top of your head. Allowing the weight of your body to come to the crown of your head on the mat. Drawing your shoulders away from ears. Breathing here. Slowly, with control, lower your hips back down to meet your feet. Allowing your hands to float back down to the mat, pressing into your hands. I want you to move your hands to the tops of your mat. Come down onto your belly. We're going to do crocodile pose. So what you're going to do is create a pillow with your arms, grabbing opposite elbows so that your forearms meet, and just resting your head on your forearms, allowing your ankles to fall apart from each other. You'll feel the weight and the connection with the earth coming really from the abdomen. Breathing deeply into that space, allowing your shoulder blades to drop. Waking up those internal organs. Breathing here. Allowing your body in full surrender, connecting to the anchor, releasing every bit of tension. today we're going to try a squat together. So what I want you to do is to raise back up on top of your mat. Come to a standing position in the middle of your mat and have your feet about hips width apart. Bringing your hands to heart center, we're just going to lower down into a squat pose, positioning your feet whatever's most comfortable for you. Your elbows should be inside of your knees, bringing your hands to heart center, allowing your chest to open, finding stillness here in this very simple pose that can anchor us. Feeling all that energy sink through your hips as your hands deliver energy to your thighs, your feet open to the floor. Psalm 112:7 says, "They do not fear bad news. They confidently trust the Lord to care for them." We don't have to fear the bad news of today or the bad news of tomorrow because we trust and we surrender here in this moment that with our anchor in God, no matter what storms come or go, what lies ahead, we don't need to fear. Releasing your hands, sweep your arms behind your legs, find a seated position as we get ready for Shavasana, lowering yourself down to this resting pose. Maybe you want to raise your pelvis off the floor and lower it down again, or bring your shoulder blades more behind your back. Hands open to the heavens, feet fall away from one another. Letting go, being here. You are firm and secure. Wiggle your jaw. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Finding subtle movement. Bending your right arm, making a pillow, rolling to one side. Breathing here. Letting go. Thanking yourself for taking this time. Finding a thought of gratitude toward yourself, your God, or someone else. Slowly press up into a seated position. Eyes softly close. Hands on knees or in lap. Finding stillness again. Draw your mind back to the intention that you set at the beginning of this practice for yourself. These days can be very scary at times, and my mind has often gone back to the words of a song that we sing at church. Anchor for the soul, shelter from the storm. Thunder and the lightning can be very frightening, but God is in control. Hebrews 6:19 says, "We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure." Bringing hands to heart center. Maybe taking a moment to thank God for being your anchor. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that this time helped you to find an anchor in God and in His truth. Spirit and Truth Yoga is inspired by John 4, where it says that true worshipers must worship in spirit and in truth. If you want to learn more about God's truth and what the Bible says, please feel free to reach out. And until next time, namaste.